was, again, changing the information that you get from a photograph. So one day I just thought, I'm going to take my sculptures, these 7 figures, which I've used a few times, and in my house, I just loved, when we moved in this house, it's a very 60s, kind of mid-century California style, big windows and cool angles and things. And I thought, well, I'm going to see what they're like. I just made a photograph. Instead of building a set, I was going to use my house as a set.
Right.
Well, I ran out of 2 ideas. 2 ideas, the house, that was it. I was done with the house.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to go to people's homes that already own my work, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to add more things, or I'm going to move further. It's not going to be their home anymore. It's just going to be my set. And so I did that through 8 pieces. And then somehow in the middle of whatever, thinking like, I saw something red and I go, everything's better with a little red. I think I'm going to use red frames. It's just the way ideas come about. Well, I really think it worked well because the pieces were all black and white and the red frames are really nice and worked well with them. The comments I got mostly were, why would you think someone would want to own a picture of someone else's house? Well, I photographed recognizable homes. I think it might play better in another city. And this happens with art. Some things play better or different in different locations. They just do. Yeah. Same thing with motion pictures. I mean,
Well, I have a great story along those lines. When I was a child, this would have been 1982. I grew up in a little town south of Dallas in Ellis County, Palmer, Texas. And in 82, Hollywood came to town to film Tender Mercies.
Oh.
Bob Duvall, Betty Buckley. And so they film it, just outside town near like where my mom had like literally grown up, on, out in the cotton fields. They filmed it in our church. He's baptized in the baptistry where I was baptized as a child. And scenes walking down our street. And so, it's this beautiful story of redemption and second chances and second acts. And so, a couple of years, a year and a half goes by. The movie's finally released. We as a family, me and my parents' friends, we all go watch the movie. And we walk out of the movie, and my parents and their friends are like, "What's the deal? Like, what? The movie is about nothing. Like, well, why would somebody want to watch that?" And it's just like, it was so much like
too familiar.
It was way too familiar for them to get the idea that anyone else could recognize it as being anything other than just nothing, right?
Yeah, that's funny, but anything that Robert Duvall's in,
I know.
He's just the guy. Like Dave Letterman said to him, he goes, you're just the guy. You're always, whatever that guy is, you're it.
Right.
In those movies. And that's really interesting to know that, because I think that's what happened with those pieces, is it just, again, it was my first show back in Dallas where I showed drawings, sculpture, and the photographs. The exhibition was well received as far as I could tell, I guess. I mean, all the work kind of functioned together.
Right.
But the photographs, it's funny that and I'm from an art generation where we didn't think we would ever sell anything. So I don't relate total success to what's sold, but the drawings and sculpture outsell the photographs by a lot.
Right.
Even if there was like 2 drawings and 1 photograph, it's still a lot.
Right.
So, and it was sort of funny. I'm like, okay, what? Well, mostly because I don't think people know me here anymore. After gone 11 years, and especially all these new young artists, they didn't have a clue. Where, what I had been or what I have done or who I was. Right. I mean, I've met several now, and they're all pretty damn great as far as people, Yeah, it happened. And but I had fun doing it. I liked going to those homes, and I'm really, I wanted them to look like 50s Life magazine pictures of Hollywood homes.
Yeah,
and a couple of them worked that way.
Sure. You remember those, what's that iconic photo up in the Hollywood Hills where you're looking through that mid-century modern over the valley, and but yeah.
You ever watch the TV? Did you ever read the books of her own with Bosch as the detective? And get that mosquito. You're fast.
Is it?
It's all right.
I'm just trying to figure out depth of field.
He might have West Nile.
Where is he? Right.
Get that guy. Anyway.
Bosch. And I haven't watched Bosch.
Well, he lives in that house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I forgot. I haven't read the books in a long, long time, but he lives in that house, and I forgot. I asked my brother has read the books more recently, and I go, the hell's Bosch doing this? Like, he's a cop. How's he? Right. He goes, don't you remember he sold one of the books they made a movie of one of his whatever one of his cases.
Right.
Not of his books, but of his cases or something. Right. So that's how he affords that house.
Wow.
But that house is they use that house. Yeah. Whoever owns it's made a fortune on rental to the movie companies, I tell you.
Yeah. Wow. And so, where do you see yourself going from here? Is it, I guess it's kind of a 3 or 4 fold question. Because I think it asks, where do you gain inspiration? Can you even predict where you're headed? Do you have any ideas on? You're doing your first large scale, cast sculpture. Do you think that's going to be a direction that the thing is, it takes so much money that I won't be able to ever fund that. Well, I don't want to say that because I want to be able to do well enough to be able to fund my own cast, or at least get to a position where a gallery is willing to front you.
They're wanting them. Someone's wanting them enough to help do that.
Right.
Got to have a wealthy gallery, of course.
Right.
First of all, I used to never think about age until I went through all that medical shit. Mm-hmm. And now I'm at the point where I don't think of age again. I'm kind of past that. I've got a brand new body. They killed everything off, and now I'm starting over. My family in general, my parents and grandparents all lived very long, all into their 90s. My father didn't make 90, but he had heart issues from his 50s. Mm-hmm. My mother would not let him die, so she made him live to 89. The sad thing is he said when he was turned 90, he was going to start smoking, and we were all going to buy him cigarettes, but he missed it by 6 months. So anyway, I feel like I have a lot of time left. Mm-hmm. Unless, you never know.
Right.
So I'm not thinking of time of oh my God, I better do this because I might die.
Right.
I don't have that mindset. You never know what happens, but I don't have that mindset. So I still think of what am I going to be making in 15 years?
Right.
Right. Artists, but also because I'm a mature artist, I'm not so sure I'm a mature person, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing next. Every time I finish a piece, I'm like, oh shit, I'm never going to have another idea.
Right.
But I do. So now I've just let it, I've always sort of just let it find me.
Right.
And so now I'll just do that. There'll be something mental or emotional or physical or life-changing, or good or bad. Good, hopefully. We have grandkids now, so I don't know what that's going to do. That's where the dream boats came from, was because I thought I'll make my grandkids toys.
Right.
And that's where the dream boats came from. That's what they're called. That group portrait up there in the big print. So I don't know. I don't think that I will stop. The way I look at it is there's painters, right? You're a painter. Mm-hmm. It's okay that painters make drawings and sculpture. I'm a photographer that makes drawings and sculpture.
Right.
And I will do all three.
Right.
And I don't think I'll ever pick up paint in a brush to show paintings. I think that would be kind of a weird cop-out. Not a cop-out. It would be like, oh, really?
Right. You know what? In 15 years, we're going to come back and have this conversation again about a retrospective of your paintings.
Yeah, exactly. That's very good. That's really good. I like that. No, I can say I'm starting over. It's not new. I've been doing what I'm doing now. I've been doing that for like almost 10 years. So.
Right.
But it's new to people here, which makes it new to me.
Right.
It's new to anyone that hasn't seen my work. And in Santa Fe, that's probably only like 5 people know of it.
Sure.
That paid attention there. I plan on just.
So are the days of film behind you?
Yeah, as far as I know. That I thought about that. I think I had an idea of setting up a camera right out of my studio and watching cars go by really fast, and that's about the only motion picture idea that I've had.
Right. Right.
Because it's very relaxing, with that whoosh going by. But no, I don't have a motion picture idea, and I'm not looking for one.
Or even art film. I mean, just yeah.
Not there.
Right.
And I just don't know.
Did you ever have any inclination to do work like Bill Viola, where it's staged in high def and really slow and
those things? Oh man! I mean, the first one I saw of his was pretty fascinating. Like, I don't know if it was the dust thing. Isn't there like a dust and then there's a fire?
Yeah.
One side's dust.
Yeah, he had done, I want to say he had done an installation for like a Venice Biennale where they were like, it was like in an old church, and he was like, had done like different, like the different elements in different alcoves, right? Like earth, wind, fire, water.
Right.
And like the water when,
That's what it was.
And the thing is, like, a lot of his work, the thing that kind of reminds me of yours is that, he's kind of making you think that these are natural reactions to things, that kind of emerge. Like here, I'm showing you these nanosecond reactions to things happening.
Right.
But these guys are actors, and like, are you really getting authentic reactions from somebody from a staged environment with, a model / actor or, in that, I think there's, it'd be, I don't know how you would stage it and get like truly. You'd have to like probably deceive whoever was modeling.
Well, I mean, it's really shot in real time. It's not, the stuff's not really moving slow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of takes, I'm sure.
Right.
But no, I mean, I find those more like something of a contemplative type viewing thing, where you just kind of meditate on it for a while, and then you move on. You don't really have to watch the whole thing. But that's been done. Anything like that now just seems. There's my thing about movies and photographs in general is I don't. It's terrible to say. I don't find them interesting because we see so many.
Sure.
And people are not really responding to photographs because they all take like 1,000 a day. And it's really in a precarious spot. Even when there's like the Museum of Modern Art does like the new photography. No, it all looks tired to me. And I lost interest. I mean, I love doing it, and I'm still doing mine, but mine are like, I don't know, I'm trying to make them just more of a sort of a playful thing as opposed to making some big narrative statement. Now, whether that'll ever happen again, that could happen at some point where I go back to a narrative, let's say when we moved back, I had the property and the ability to build another